here. You both are high on DK Metcalf
Right.
out of Ole Miss.
Right.
Chris, you have him number 1.
Yep.
He's your top receiver. Josh,
Yep.
you have him as the number 2 receiver. But the receiver that Josh has number 1, Chris,
know.
you do not even have in your top 5.
No.
And the name of that person is Hakeem Butler out
Yes.
of Iowa State.
Right.
So, Chris, first of all, we'll start with you. Why do you hate Hakeem Butler?
What an asshole you are, okay?
I just want to
You're
know
an
what
asshole,
you have against
an asshole
him.
wearing white shoes today,
Yeah, I
okay?
like
That's what you are, okay?
Yeah, the first
just
time
so
I've
we
worn
know
these.
that. But
look
they
pretty good.
really
He's
do.
going bowling after
they
this,
look
actually.
Good.
I got to
They
turn
really
him
do
back
good.
in. Yeah, I'll get my real shoes after this podcast is done.
I don't hate the kid, okay? Just so
Yeah.
he is a.
You just hate him as a football player. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he is a big target, 50-50 ball, certainly impressive. Back shoulder catches, impressive. Ability to break some tackles and make some yak, pretty impressive. The thing I would throw back is Big 12. We're not talking about one cornerback in the Big 12 that's going to go in the NFL. Texas is the only team that even has guys that are really in the draft conversation. I take that into account. I take the style of play he played against in the Big 12 and go, man, did he get a lot of free releases and slot plays where nobody touched him and got that. The other thing I would just say is he is a little bit too much lumbering to me. I understand the value of him, but the route running, the explosion out of breaks, things like that are what concerns me, where I see DBs and even linebackers at times being able to stay with him in moments where I just go, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong at the end of the day. We'll see. But he's certainly not one of my 5 favorite right now.
And what's funny is Chris isn't alone in this opinion. Like, there are a lot of people in this industry that I really respect.
And the drops. It is, and
we'll get to that
because
for sure.
he got great catches, but he does have too many concerning drops.
So Daniel Jeremiah doesn't have Hakeem Butler in his top 50. My friend Dane Brugler of The Athletic has him at number 60 overall. Lance Zierlein, who writes the reports of NFL.com, has him as his wide receiver 13.
Okay.
So, like, I'm going out on a big limb here with Hakeem Butler.
That's too far down, 13.
It is.
It is. That's excessive.
What I love about Hakeem Butler, and it's funny because whereas with Drew Lock, we kind of saw the same thing, valued it differently, I think we're seeing very different prospects.
Yeah.
He did often, to me, face press coverage. And I listened to Chris Ballard recently talk about this, the Colts GM. And he said the most difficult part of projecting wide receivers from college to the NFL is that in college, they don't often face that physicality in the first 5 yards.
Right.
So you don't know how they're going to react to jams. You don't know their releases. Because if they just get a free run, I mean, that's 10 yards immediately.
Yes.
Hakeem Butler often faced press coverage and had to use a variety of releases to get past that. Now, he's a massive target. I mean, he's 6'5", 227 pounds. We haven't seen that many successful receivers lately with that type of frame. And what I loved also about him was that he lined up on the left side. He lined up on the right side.
Sure.
He lined up in the left slot.
Right.
He lined up in the right slot.
Definitely.
He attacked short, mediate, and vertical.
Yep.
And really, he was the best vertical receiver in this draft class last year. Had the most receiving yards on 20-plus yard passes in this class. I mean, and the body control. I'm not going to say he's A.J. Green. I'm not going to say he's A.J. Green, but he gives me A.J. Green vibes.
Yeah.
Just with that size.
The body control.
And along the sideline.
Right.
And, I mean, just Hakeem Butler, to me, is, if we're looking for wide receiver ones, and that term gets thrown around a lot, he has that potential.
Okay. I disagree with you totally.
I know you do. I know you do. Now, can we actually compare him? Because I think this would be a fun exercise.
10 years from now, we'll come back on this podcast. We'll be like, who was real?
I mean with, like, DK Metcalf. Because to me, DK Metcalf is a complete projection.
No doubt about it.
Because at Ole Miss, DK Metcalf only played on one side of the field. He only played on the left side. All of his routes were run on a vertical plane. It was go routes, comebacks.
Maybe a slant.
Maybe a slant every once in a while.
Right.
And also there wasn't a lot of production. So to me, when I'm looking at that type of player, that's a complete projection to me, because I don't know, since he was able just to stand on one side of the formation, he was able to master those releases. He was able to master that footwork. And that scares me a little bit compared to Butler, where I know he can win throughout.
All right, I'll just fight back with this one and go.
This is great.
If you put DK Metcalf on the other side of the field, he's not going to go, oh my gosh, I'm on the right side. So I think you're making too big of a deal out of that.
But we saw that same issue with Kevin White coming out of school. Because Kevin White did the exact same thing.
But I know, and I was not high on Kevin White coming out either. I had concerns about Kevin White. DK Metcalf is a little different to me, just because, first of all, I think some of the issues you're talking about are Ole Miss's offense. And if the quarterback could hit him when he was open, he might have had an extra 700 yards to the games I watched. So those are things I take into account too. But certainly, it's a tough eval because it is limited.
Yeah.
There is not huge production. Ole Miss's offense at time, I mean, like brain blow up emoji. I honestly watched some games going, are they trying to win here, or are they trying to find the least talented guy on the field to give him the ball? I just didn't understand any of it. So I took all that into account, but all good. You still like DK Metcalf. You just know it's a projection.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. And quickly with Hakeem Butler, just going back to him.
Yeah.
Turn on the Did you get to watch the Iowa game?
You know what? I don't know if I have watched the Iowa game.
4th and 1 in the 3rd quarter.
Right.
He runs a whip route.
Right.
And sinks his hips.
Sure.
Is able to create separation, just super close line of scrimmage. And again, you don't see these 6'5", 225+ pound receivers do that. And finally, Chris,
yes,
big receivers are back, I think, in this class.
No, I see that for sure.
Like for years, we had, and I even wrote some names down. Mike Williams goes in the top 10. We had Josh Jackson, Laquan Treadwell, Kevin White, Devontae Parker, Kelvin Benjamin. Like these are all big receivers that we're hoping to imitate, your Julio Jones, your AJ Greens, your Mike Evans, and a lot of them have failed.
Yes. Yeah.
And in this class, I bet we get 3 or 4 that really succeed.
Yeah, this kid has a chance, I think, because of his slot value too.
Yep.
I think the NFL has finally come to the terms because of guys like Marquise Colston, or even how the Saints use what the hell's their damn receiver right now? Michael Thomas.
And Larry Fitzgerald does in Arizona.
Right. He's done it at the end of his career. But they have moved a lot of these big guys into the slot because, they might not be able to just blow by people on the outside, but they're big targets, they're pretty good route runners, and they're fearless over the middle. And I could see Hakeem Butler being successful in that role.
You're starting to change his mind a little
Can we
bit.
talk quickly about drops and the importance of drops?
Sure.
That's a big part of Butler's evaluation.
You do hear, and they're glaring, right? When there's a drop, it's glaring.
There's some bad ones.
If you don't even follow football, you're like, that's not a very good receiver right there.
Honestly, that's part of it, because I think it's this bias that we all have that when a player drops it, usually it's a big play that doesn't come into fruition. That those stick out, those moments stick out in our head. It's kind of like long runs for the running backs, even though that's only equals 5 to 6% of a running back's full workload, full carries. Hakeem Butler has a lot of drops, 16% this year in terms of on-target passes.
Damn, is it that many?
That's a lot.
It's that high.
Damn, that's a lot.
All those are all catchable balls?
Yes. And so I'm doing my best. Well, one, he also makes up for uncatchable balls because
he catches some crazy jump balls and stuff like that. Yes, he does.
But I'm doing my best, and I think it was 12 drops on the season. I don't want those 12 spotlight plays to really veil and impact an entire evaluation. I understand it's going to be an issue, but I think the team that drafts him knows it's going to be an issue.
Definitely.
So they're not going to bench him just because he drops a couple passes.
It's going to be a little work in progress there on that.
Oh, well, it might not be a huge, you can fix it, but it's still you're a wide receiver.
Yep.
You're supposed to catch the ball,
especially
the ones.
It's his job.
It's his job.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.